back. So I kind of tried to show you guys how we could actually solve uploading a file, finding the metadata, and adding the file to a specific folder using the functions here. But I think the use case is kind of a bad use case for showing off functions, and I even think it's a pretty hard one to implement. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to option 1 right here. Let me try and explain you the problem that we're facing right here. We can upload the file. That works perfectly. I already proved that when I upload a file, I get information about the function being uploaded. I can look at the logs right here. I can see that I'm getting an event that says, congratulations, you uploaded a file, and it even explains to me the metadata inside the file that I just uploaded. So I can prove that right here, that I have a lot of great information. That means that step 1 is ready, right? So step 1 works. I can upload the file. Step 2, I have the metadata available for the file. So I could actually now take all this information that I just uploaded right here, and I could take that and save it inside Firestore, inside our database, and then we could create a file, and then we could upload all this information, give it the file a unique identifier. Perfect. Step 2 is also done and ready to work with. But step 3 is kind of a problem, because I don't know if I have access to the actual users folder, right? So I need to kind of be able to add this file to a specific folder in our system, right? So in here, it needs to be to that specific user's specific folder right here, depending on what folder he's in right now. Now that information I don't have. I don't have that available inside my action, right? Because when the file is uploaded, it'll give me the metadata about the file, not about the database, nothing about the database. So my point is just, we're going to find a better use case. We're going to find a better story instead of this one. We're going to go with option 1. We're going to say we upload the file, then we do a switch map, then we upload the metadata, and then we upload the folder, right? That's what we're going to do. But we're going to make another thing for functions, and that's generate a thumbnail. So every time we upload a new file, we want Firebase functions to generate a thumbnail for us. That's a cool, better, nice, sweet, must-have, needed function that we want to make, right? That's a great feature. So we're going to change this, and this is actually going to be the function that I want to generate in the next couple of lessons. And I must be honest, I hope that we could do this easily, but it's just a pain to get through this, and it's not going to be pretty. I think the solution we have already is better, the option 1. So I'm going to switch my focus into actually generating thumbnails on Firebase instead. I think that'll be more fun. Sweet. Jumping into Firebase right here, right now we are listening for events on all folders. So no matter what folder I'm actually trying to save data into, I'm going to get an event. If it's here or at root, it's going to get an event. I don't want that anymore, because whenever I save something to a profile image, I don't want a thumbnail. I don't need that. I want a thumbnail for the albums files. So what we're going to try and do as the final thing this lesson is try to listen for the albums files. So if it's in this folder, then I want to generate a thumbnail. Let's try and do that. Back to the code right here. What we're going to try and do is we're going to jump into our index TS file again, and we're going to say, whenever we get an event, if the event's name, right, the name, now I know it's the name because if I go back to my log right here, you can see that the name has the information that we need right now. So jumping into the log, going in here, viewing logs, and let's just see that event that we got. There we go. Now if I expand this guy, and we find it down here, I'll just scroll down slowly. There we have the name, and you'll see the name starts with album files, and then I know that I'm looking inside the albums files, right? So that's kind of what I want to do. I want to trigger that. I only want if the name index off, and then I'm going to put in here that I want to look for something called album files. If the index of that is larger than 0, right, then I know that I've found this. Actually larger than -1, then I know that I've found the actual, it's actually for specifically albums files folder where I've kind of hit this event, and then I want to print something. Let's just try and do this. I'll just try to upload this to Firebase. Firebase deploy only functions. If I don't put in only, I'll also get the actual application will also be deployed, and I don't want to do that right now. So I'll deploy the functions, and again, that's how easy you redeploy. The file has been uploaded. Let's just try and add a file right here in the albums files. I'll just add this guy right here. Now this should be triggered. Let's see if we go back to the functions, if we actually got an event right here. Going into the logs, and it seems I got an event right here. If I scroll down, that event was that I just uploaded this file. Let's just try and see if we can find it. There we go. Albums files, download JPEG. That was the one I tried to upload. Let's just try, for the sake of it, to go back to the storage and try and upload a file in the root and see if we get that event as well. I'll just upload a file right here in the root folder, this guy. And hopefully I won't get an event now because this is not inside the albums file. Let's just try and have a look in the functions and see if we are getting an event. Now you'll see right here the event is actually there, but I didn't do a print because I didn't get into that if statement. So that's it for this lesson. Now you guys just saw a small change, and we also discussed what we're going to do next. Because the next lesson, we're going to use the cloud storage triggers to actually build a thumbnail generator. See you next time. Have fun.